Welcome to the Gus Alva Perspective, a videocast that embraces the policy of gratitude and abundance over the mindset of fear and scarcity. Particularly important theme to consider because as we traverse through life, we sometimes run into problems when we tend to think on a negative side of things. The topic that I'd like to touch on today through this videocast is a really neat theme, and that is optimizing. So, in all our lives, we sometimes ask ourselves, do we make the most effective and efficient use of resources, time, or processes to achieve the best outcome? If you do, well, that's amazing. But if you don't, this videocast will point out various strategies for optimizing different aspects of your life, your work, and certainly also your leisure activities, which are very, very important. Why touch on this theme? Well, this is one of the things that oftentimes gets brought up by patients when they're seeing me. And being a board certified psychiatrist, oftentimes we look at strategizing ways as to how to best optimize the time that we have before us. So let's start with where we should first get things going, and that is setting clear goals and objectives. There's a mnemonic that goes by the lines of SMART. So always think SMART. And what that means is that by defining specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals, well, that would provide a clear direction and purpose for optimization of efforts. Now, it's also critical that we prioritize tasks and activities. In the past, we've talked about different types of techniques that can be utilized to help prioritize things. And if you wouldn't mind looking up a couple of these, the Eisenhower box, for example, is a very good one. The Moscow method is another very good one, or ABCDE prioritization to focus on high impact tasks and prioritize them based on urgency and importance is something that would be very useful. Now, the reason that I'm not going into great depth into each one of this is that that would obviously run this video cast a lot longer, but at least by giving you the resources that you can look up, you'll be able to now follow through with some of these particular suggestions. Another very important thing is optimizing time management. So when we block time, well, we basically set a good scenario for ourselves. In the past, in other video casts, I've discussed the Pomodoro technique. So again, consider that as well. When we streamline processes and workflows, we can identify bottlenecks or redundancies or inefficiencies. And that, by the way, is very important because by reducing on those things, we'll have a better outcome. Because when we have consistency and reproducibility of things, well, these are important things that help with optimizing time. Now, remember, in life, we're continuously learning, we're continuously acquiring new skill sets, and staying updated with the latest knowledge is inherently important. This is one very key critical area in the medical space. And, I think that, when we take a look at the reason for actualization with physicians, that's a very important point, but it's one that carries over across everyone. Continuous learning enhances your experience. Now, when we embrace a growth mindset, we'll basically note that challenges are now being looked at as opportunities for growth. When we have adaptability and resilience, these are key elements in optimizing outcomes. Sometimes it's not a bad idea to collect information and analyze that information. When we gather relevant data, we can make better informed decisions. And also, if we take into consideration that sometimes teamwork is necessary to get a task accomplished, well, collaboration is not a bad idea. When we work with others, we share ideas, and we basically note that there may be others that have more expertise in a given area, and then the development of best practices can ensue and generate innovative solutions. If we maintain a good work-life balance, well, that then also means that we're going to have a more well-balanced lifestyle. That enhances our overall productivity and optimizes a sense of well-being. And ultimately, that's one of the thematic areas that I always want to make sure to reinforce. When we focus on quality and continuous improvement, well, that also helps us stay ahead of the game. And remember, staying positive and adaptable help with optimism. And remember that adaptability is an essential trait for navigating challenges as well as optimizing outcomes, which is ultimately the main theme that we're trying to actually take into consideration. Now, remember, when we have an abundance and gratitude mindset, that allows us then the opportunity to gravitate towards different strategies that we may not have considered previously. And one of the nice things about this video cast was sharing with you some of those particular practices or strategies that, if put to motion in your daily routine, will ultimately lead to a feeling of overall greater optimism and greater vigor, and help enhance our overall effectiveness in achieving any and all objectives. With that said, I'm sincerely grateful for you joining us today on the Gus Alva perspective with this particular theme of uh, looking at optimization as a particular component that we should always be considering in our lives. Thank you so much.